You might have enough money to retire by 2030 if you accumulate enough shares with a market value of $1 million and make retirement plans. Honolulu's pina coladas are at stake, and if I were betting on anyone in the public eye, it would be none other than Elon Musk, one of the most influential, inventive, and imaginative businessmen of our time. He is a real genius who has revolutionized a number of industries, including tunneling, artificial intelligence, space exploration, and electric cars. He is a true futurist who works nonstop to improve the world. He is not just a businessman. Stay tuned to learn how many shares you may need to purchase in order to join us Tesla enthusiasts in Honolulu in a few short years, but hit the subscribe and like buttons first before we head there. Investing in the S&P 500 will yield annual returns of roughly 7%. A $3,200 monthly salary or $38,000 yearly was seen as an excellent income at the time this movie was recorded, but because of inflation, the anticipated monthly pay today is $4,600. Over the next 10 years, inflation is predicted to average between 3.5% and 4%. Investing in assets that are resistant to inflation, such equities, real estate, or gold, is advised in order to mitigate the effects of inflation. Cash or cryptocurrency might not offer enough protection against inflation if you don't save for investing. Subtracting the 6.5% annual inflation rate from $38,000 brings the total annual income up to $55,000. We project that the entire income would need to reach approximately $72,000 by 2030. It could be a good idea to look into other investing possibilities if you are worried about the volatility of a specific stock, such as Tesla, or the unpredictable nature of the stock market in general. The S&P 500, for example, has historically returned approximately 10% annually and is a very steady investment with average annual returns of 8% to 10% by 2030. By 2030, you'll need to have saved roughly $1 million if you want to live off of your investments in Tesla shares in the S&P 500. Purchasing Tesla stock might make you a multimillionaire. You could live off of $1 million invested at 7% in the S&P 500 for 40 years in the beginning. I projected 20 million vehicles annually as the worst case situation. A 15 million vehicle scenario, a 10 million vehicle base case, a 20 million vehicle bull case, and a 33 million vehicle ultra bull case are among the delivery scenarios I have added to my original prediction. Full self-driving FSD is expected to cost close to $30,000 per car. Even though this could seem overwhelming, it's crucial to take the total cost into account. The $15,001 time payment will probably double in the next 7 years by 2030. As FSD technology develops, this rise is probably going to happen. FSD from Tesla is priced as a one-time charge equivalent to around 15% of a Tesla vehicle's current market value. Tesla would have been using their new number by now if they had one. By year's end, Tesla promises to have 1 million robotaxis on the road this year. There are already over 3 million, a substantial increase over previous years. By 2030, Tesla is predicted to generate $1 trillion in income annually, even with the sale of 25 million cars, and the implementation of FSD net income estimates range from $110 billion in the bear case to much greater sums in the bull case, which may come as a surprise. Remember that the number of shares could change at any time, and the firm might decide to do buybacks later on in one stock price prediction study. Dividends and earnings per share are also taken into account, and the findings are fascinating. Let's talk about the stock market. With a market capitalization of over $4 trillion, the stock price per share may reach $1,068 in the worst-case production scenario. This suggests that the value might increase by at least 4 times, even if 10 million vehicles are produced by 2030. If we were to sell 50 million cars, the stock price might be worth $1,600 per share, according to the bear prediction. With a market valuation of more than $7.8 trillion, the stock price may increase to $2,136 under the bull scenario of producing under the bull scenario of producing 20 million vehicles. By 2030, 20 million cars are expected to be built. However, this could be delayed by a few years. Although we project that the corporation may build 16 to 18 million automobiles by 2030, we will assume 20 million for the purposes of this scenario. In an even more optimistic scenario, the market value may exceed $9 trillion and the stock price would be roughly $2,456, which may not be possible by 2030. The ultra bull scenario, which is the most bullish, could see the company trade at $2,670 per share with a market value of almost $10 trillion and a price to earnings ratio of 35. Although this may sound like a very optimistic prediction, it is better to use a range of 15 to 23. You will need to calculate the minimum number of shares you require today in order to accumulate $1 million in retirement funds by the year 2030. In the event of a super bear market, you will need 936 shares, each costing $190, for a total of $177,000. In the worst case scenario, 624 shares, roughly $118,000 in today's dollars, will be required if 15 million automobiles are delivered. This is less than the $177,000 needed in the event of a super bear, which calls for 936 shares at a price of $1,068 a dollar. The bullish scenarios are up next. Just to be clear, these are only estimates. Always make sure to conduct your own study and confirm the correctness for yourself. Currently, 407 shares are required under the bullish case, which would cost about $77,000. This objective can be reached by controlling your expenditure and storing the money in a safe place. Although it can be difficult, everyone can learn to exercise self-control when it comes to managing their finances. In light of the optimistic estimates and the current state of the market, it appears unreasonable. As I mentioned in the video, reaching 20 million vehicles by 2030 might take longer than projected because of unforeseen closures and lockdowns in nations like China. As a result, it might take a year or two longer. But even the most accurate estimates have errors, and this projection is not an exception. In summary, the required total investment, even under optimal circumstances, is $77,000 or roughly 407 shares as of the recording date. This sum is not negligible, but it is achievable with commitment, careful preparation, and patience. Even if you bought Apple shares in 1998 and did nothing except wait until 2008, you would have made money. This explains why a lot of Tesla bulls have made sizable stock investments. You will soon realize that Tesla's stock has the ability to rise at an exponential rate in the near to medium term if you haven't already. Let's now look at the potential that high interest rates and unfavorable macroeconomic conditions will cause the stock market to decline. All things considered, this might be an excellent time to invest in Tesla despite the current market slump. Don't allow your reservations stop you from taking action. You'll think back on the $190 per share stock price in a few years and realize that it was a fantastic investment opportunity. Naturally, I'm not a licensed financial or investment advisor. I just do my own research to get my own ideas. In my opinion, Tesla offers a low-risk investment opportunity, notwithstanding the difficulties Russian firms are currently facing as a result of a faltering economy. Tesla is still a new product on the market and is having trouble keeping up with the rising cost of fuel. Some investors might not be aware of these considerations, though. Ultimately, it's critical to confirm information before acting upon it. The stock price for cars and fully autonomous driving was projected to be approximately $2,600 per share in the extreme bull scenario. The picture isn't complete without Tesla insurance, energy, and Tesla bot, though, and it's possible that by 2030, Tesla's market value and share price may go much higher. See our other videos on this channel to see our future projections. If you're interested, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you enjoyed this video, see you in the upcoming video.